Hello and welcome to Meet Your Inspiration podcast with Meri and Rich. Here we're talking about inspiration, motivation, and empowerment. Our guests are ordinary people who became extraordinary. We're sharing their stories. We want to empower you to become the person you want to be and to go beyond your dreams.
Our special guest today is Tracey Vince. Tracey, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you.
Great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Tracey runs a small business called Zerenity, and she is a creative designer doing websites and web design and web development. So if you need help with that, Tracey is the right lady. Welcome, Tracey.
Thank you.
You miss graphic designer. Just saying.
Okay.
And
a graphic designer.
most probably much more, but this is where we're going to find out during the conversation. And today we will talk not only about websites, we'll talk about networking, we'll talk about creating a small business, running it, and we're going to talk about quite a few personal things where we're going to include bullying, how you get over that, and how you find a way to love yourself as you are, which I'm really intrigued to go through that conversation. But before we start, I need to make one other thing to say. The networking and us obviously starting to appear in different rooms made us to meet Tracey definitely over a year ago.
Yes,
for sure.
definitely.
That was thanks to Zoe.
Yeah,
This is when
Zoe
first
Gans.
we met you. And this is an absolutely brilliant example of building a connection. Because we met her, even if I must be honest, after that on different networking and events, we bump in each other. We never had that relation too much to know about each other, but obviously it starts from hello, how you doing, and etc. Then during the time, of course, once you start to see someone so often, we start to know much more about each other. Tracey is absolutely fun and lovely lady. And this led us this year when me and Richard, we had an idea that it's time for website renewal and to make the website better.
Because we're going from a homemade, what we might call a homemade version of a website,
to a professional
website. So
but
there
the
will
good
be a
thing was
staggering
that
difference very soon.
once we were thinking about who is going to be the person, we didn't have any other thought. We were sure it's going to be you, just because the personality. Just because, and this is one example I think about the networking that we usually talk. You don't need to have the business right now, today. This is me, this is what I'm doing. You build this relationship, and when the right time comes, you either get this person or you recommend it to someone.
And that's exactly, I think, with networking itself, that's the key point of you're not going in there to go, right, I'm getting work. For me anyway. For me, it's about, like you say, building those relationships up. We've known each other for a year. And then it's at that point where you go, okay, I want to work with you. How can I work with you? How can I support you? And that's all it's about.
And we are really big supporters for small business if we can.
Absolutely.
Obviously, in this role, we are in the same boat. And we do believe, and I always stand behind these words, that it's very important to help the people when they're in the beginning of their journey.
Absolutely.
Because
and it's reciprocation as well, isn't it? And it's
absolutely.
And it's people who make a leap of faith sometimes at the very beginning. That's what makes a difference.
And we all know what it's like. We've been there, we've experienced it. We know the hard times and we know when the lows are lows. So if we can help somebody just to build themselves up or just help their business grow a little bit more, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? So let's get started.
Do we go back?
Of course we do.
Okay.
Our favorite question. When we go back in the time, Tracey.
Oh no.
But I don't know. Shall we start with the career or with the personal experience? What do you want to start with?
I honestly don't mind. How far back do you want to go?
Usually we start after secondary school, but I know that part of your story is far before that.
Far before.
So if you want, shall we start with that?
Yeah, let's start with that.
Let's build it from there. So tell us about this bravery part of your life.
Well, it's hard to say bravery because now it's bravery because I'm starting to own it, shall I say. But when I was about 2.5, 3 years old, I had an accident when I was younger. And I won't go into too much details because I don't want to sort of scare some of the audience. But I had an incident at home that caused me to have to go into hospital, and now I'm half blind. So I can see nothing out of my right eye at all. All I can see is from my left. It's hard for me to describe because it's like me saying to you guys, how do you see out of two eyes? I can't explain how I see out of one. And that was a huge life-changing event for me. But then I don't know how huge it was because I don't remember seeing from two eyes.
What age you been?
About 2.5, 3 years old. And I spent easily about 6 months in hospital having 2 operations. But then that just rolls on and on because it's like yearly checkups, monthly checkups, just to make sure it's all okay. But it's a life-changing thing because that just set how my school years and my whole life would change. And I know this is something that a lot of people may go through for different scenarios, but mine's a physical thing. You can see mine, which just opened me up to bullying.
And of course, at that point, I guess when you're having lots of operations, there's probably lots of marks and bruising, and
Yeah.
so you probably had like a black eye around it as well, and sort of like.
My mum did say when it happened, it looked like I'd gone about 10 rounds with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
It was that bad. And like you say, yeah, straight after the operation, I had to wear eye patches because obviously for infections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then
when you said bullying, did that start from the primary school, from the very young age?
Yeah, from primary. So with my primary school, when I was in the younger years, so I've got 2 older sisters. They were literally in the playground next to me, and they would hear that I was getting bullied or something and would come round because they know it's not right and stuff like that. It's just, I was an easy target. And at that point, I wasn't confident. I was trying to hide it, but I can't hide it. And before I went into sort of secondary school, I had so many doubts, and I was like, it's only going to get worse, the bullying. We know what everyone can be like. So we went down the route of getting a coloured contact lens, so my eyes would technically match.
Okay.
And I did, I don't even know how long I even tried it for, but I hated putting it in and out to the point my mum would do it for me. And I was like, no, it just hurts because it's so simple of I can't see where it's going, so I don't know if it's going in.
Yeah.
Taking out was fine. So it was like, I got to a point where I was just like, I don't want to wear this anymore because I'm putting myself through a lot of pain to try and wear it.
And I guess at that point as well, if you're wearing that, then maybe the one eye is moving and the other eye is sitting in the same place, and everyone thinks, what's happening with the other eye? And it also, people always notice everything.
Yeah,
don't
they do.
And it's just difference. But then after a moment, I mean, when you first meet someone, you notice something and think, oh, I wonder how it happened and why it happened. But then after that, you just settle down, don't you? Just sort of actually, it just becomes natural.
And that's the thing. I think my biggest takeaway from like going through all of this is I get it. There are going to be younger kids that may stare. They're not aware of what's going on. They might not understand it. But it's more when the parents or adults are looking at you and it's like, you can kind of have a guess what may the situation be. Like, either ask me or just stop staring, please. Because you just don't know the effect it's going to have on people. Whilst I sit here now, it doesn't really have any effect on me. I'll own it. And sometimes I might call it out. I try not to because that's not who I am as a person. But I just talk about it. I'd rather people come up to me and go, what happened? And then I'll tell the story if I want to.
I remember when we met not long ago and we talked about that. If you're happy to share that story from the supermarket.
Oh, yeah.
They called me and I still think about that. And I think it's absolutely unacceptable. But it's just if you're happy to share with you.
Yeah, of course. Because so I was paying for something at a supermarket and a little girl just caught my eye and I could see that she was like trying to have a look round to go like, what's wrong? And I heard her say to her mum, go, oh, mum, that lady's, her eye's different or her eye's weird or something like that. And I was like, right, okay, I'm just going to see how the mum responds to this. And the mum just turned around and went, "Oh, don't look at her. She's just weird and funny. Like, don't. She's just weird." And I was just like, "That's not right to say. Like, yes, it may look different, but I'm not weird or funny or anything like that. Like, those words for kids, you just don't know how they're going to take it." So I did at that point. I was just like, "No, like, you can't just tell your child to not look at me because I'm weird or do." So I turned around to the little girl and I said, "Oh, I had an accident when I'm young, so I'm blind in one eye." Trying to just sort of tell her what the situation is. Not trying to be rude or anything like that. And the mum just turned around and went, "Don't tell my child. Don't talk to my child." And I'm like, "But I'm going to educate your child because you can't." Yeah. And you've got, that's the perspective you've got to feel of, how does that person feel who is in that situation, who's getting told, "Oh, they look weird, they look funny." No, I've just gone through something that's changed my life and I'm just blind in one eye. That's all it is at the end of the day. And I just said to the mum, it's not right for you to just put me in a category. I'm trying to just educate your child, let her know she's asking these questions, so I want to answer it. And she just like stormed off. And I was like, "No, that's not fair."
No, it's not fair.
I assume in secondary school it wasn't easy at all.
No.
When was the moment when you stopped feeling that low and you start to embrace a bit more? This is me. You like it or no? When the confidence and the courage came, or it came much later in life?
I think the courage in that is more now about talking about it. Back in secondary school, I had both my sisters within the same school. So if I knew I had an issue, they would be there, sort of thing. So I knew like I wasn't alone. And I have to admit, I had the big long fringe. So it was always covered up. I was always just in hide mode. Unless I had a conversation with somebody where they would ask me. And most of my friends, they knew the situation. Yes, there's going to be somebody still, but I was like, let it not affect me, just focus on my education. And I think that's where it led to me to hide it. Don't talk about it. Yes, I know it's there, but try and ignore people who may be looking at me or stuff like that. Just walk away from the situation. Whereas now I'm just like, yeah, I'm blind.
Well, that's obviously the formula back then to get over the bullying. You just ignore, because we know that when we ignore as well, people at some point they'll get not interested because they understand they don't coach you. Maybe inside they do,
Yeah.
but at least you don't show it. That was your formula to.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine was just try and ignore it because I'm just putting fuel to the fire if I retaliate. Yes, now looking back at it, that's probably not the best way to deal with it because I just suppressed how I felt. And yeah, I would go home, I would feel knocked by it, but I'm not giving any fuel to that fire by reacting. And there were days where nothing would happen in the end. And as I went through secondary school, it just got less and less just because they weren't getting a reaction out of me. And I think in a way, maybe they started to accept me because
it is who you are at the end of the day. And it's quite nice to hear that you've had as well your circle of friends around you, which makes as well quite nice to have. I very much resonate with this story because I do have my personal, obviously it's not that far or it's not that big like yours. I do have a little bit of difference on my face, but when I was young, I hated in my neighborhood, and very often people, if they want to catch me or to do something to me in a bad way, they will always bring that. In the beginning, in the first years when I was younger, it was much more visible. Now it's not that much, but I had the same, either fringe, either hide, and it was for years my weakest point. And I hate it because the names that I've been called with, the things that people will tell you. Maybe if I go and speak with psychologists now, I still got some traumas from there, I'm pretty sure. But it was really awful how people can really harm you just by you not doing anything. It's just.
Sometimes it's just the smallest things, though, isn't it? I mean, even the way someone talks or says something, or they might say something in a particular way, and then people are, "Oh, well, of course, you always say it like that," or there's something that, like it's sort of people always find whatever minor fault it is, or whether it's a big fault or a characteristic of somebody, but actually it's not the real person. And,
No.
and we should be allowed to shine as people
Yeah.
what we're really all about.
And we are who we are.
yeah.
This is
Yep.
this is
Yeah.
what it happened with me by my girls. I don't know at which stage or time in my life, of course, later, maybe after secondary or in secondary school. So I really embraced, and I was like, this is me. I like to go in the mirror. And I really
Yeah.
don't care about you. If you don't like me, you don't like me. It's like,
And to just go back on like what you said a moment ago of like, it may not be as big as mine. Like, there's no comparison to that. You have your situation, you have your physical things, I've got mine. And it's just, no one's problem is bigger or worse. Yes, we all go through different things, but it's about realizing that we are all going through these. We all have our own problems, differences. It's
let's
just,
be honest, nobody doesn't know what tomorrow could happen
yeah.
and change them for life.
And I think until you're in that situation, yes, it's horrible to have to experience it. But unless you're in that and you're getting it firsthand, you don't really understand how it feels.
No.
In my opinion, at least.
So after all this period, when we get to the point after secondary school, what did you decide to do and where your career to take to start?
So it's weird because I actually went to sixth form after secondary to study to be a nursery nurse. So I think it was 3 years. So I've got all my qualifications. So if I wanted to, I could work in a nursery, which is so different to websites. But it was just when I was doing that job that my partner, he was like really into tech as well. And I was like, oh, I actually like tech. Why am I not doing something like this? So I went back to college, start from the beginning, and done a computing course. Very basic. I was like, right, okay, I'm really loving this. 2 years. And I was like, I'm now going to university. So then I went to uni for 2 years, I think. Was it 2 or 3 years? Oh, I can't remember. 3, possibly. And I sort of, with my modules, I aimed it more at web design because you could go down like the games route or the actual software engineering and things like that. But I was like, no, I like building and I want to build websites. So I got my degree in that. I'm still working at a nursery at this point and Primark because I was like, I still need to earn money.
Yeah.
I just sort of moved out, I was renting. And then it was just at this one point that I think, I can't even remember how I found it. I think it might have been a recruiting agency just sent out to say they were looking for a junior web developer at this agency. So I was like, oh, I'll give it a go. This is like potential dream job of mine. Got the interview and I was like, yeah, you've got the job. And I was like, perfect. Like, yes, I'm doing what I want to now. Like, I love doing nursery nurse, but my heart was with websites.
So that was a big change at that point.
Massive change.
But that's again a good example. So you were doing nursery work.
Yep.
And you were working at Primark
Yeah.
while to fund while
The
you were doing
dream.
and
Yeah.
you were doing your degree, which
Yeah.
is great as well. Because I mean, a lot of people go, "Oh, God, just but like actually, it's so important actually to get life experiences, workplace
Yep.
experience, and those are good things to do during any part of education.
And that's the thing. And most jobs out there, they always want a bit of experience, don't they? And you're like, but if no one's giving me a chance in the job I want to do to get the experience, I've got to find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I had the qualifications, so I didn't want to put nursery nurse to waste. It helped me, like, not be unemployed, really. So, yeah. And then I did think about keeping Primark on still when I was with this agency because I was like, just as a backup. But it was like, no, just quit both jobs and go full steam into this because I want to put all my heart into this job. And yeah, I was at this agency for nearly 10 years.
Wow.
Literally, I was the junior web developer all the way up to digital lead. Yeah.
So at that point, so if we go to web design.
Yep.
So for anyone who's not, I mean, there's a lot of very techie people around who know
Yeah.
all about it.
Especially on the sofa.
But obviously there's a lot of people who are not very techy
Yes.
and don't understand. So obviously there are lots of standard platforms when people can have a go and self-build, like which is what we did
And I
at the
can
very
say
beginning.
that is not easy.
And even
at
that's
all.
not easy because
Although it's very much prepared. No, it's not.
Yep.
But obviously for what as you learn it, obviously first of all there's a lot of programming side, there's a lot of
Yes.
code, is, I mean, one of the hardest minefield I'll never forget when we first started. And like, so you buy like this domain name.
Yep.
And then you have to somehow get it onto your website or create a website. It's like, oh, it's just so difficult. And it's obviously when you know, it's really straightforward. But
yeah, but then it's also on the flip side of that. When I know and I'm doing it day in, day out, and I'm talking to somebody, I've got to remember in my head, don't just speak the tech jargon, really. I need to speak to what you would understand. So a good sort of tip that I give, or the way sort of to describe it to people, like your domain is your street address. That's where they're going to find you. And then your hosting is where all of your files for your website belongs. So that's like your home. That's where all your like belongings are. And then these two together is what makes your website appear. And it's simple. I know I say it's simple, but it's simple when you put it in the terms of it's your street address in your home, because that's where people find you. It's just twisting it to go, that's how they find your website.
And obviously, talking now about websites, where is the starting point when someone wants to have a website, or when you have a business? So how you know when it comes the moment to have a website, and where is the starting point?
So I think it's very important to have an online presence, especially this day and age, because we are all on our laptops, mobiles. That's where we go. We don't, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we have any yellow pages anymore. That's what they used to do back in the day. So essentially, the internet is the yellow pages. So you've got to try and find your way on there. And if you're just starting out, don't feel like you've got to have a polished website, because you may not be ready for that. It's really important to know that your website can grow and develop as you grow and develop. So I'd say as a starting point, even if you get your domain, get it up there, make sure it's not just a blank site. Have a landing page or a holding page. And that can be literally just the screen full. And as long as it's got your business name on there, what you do, and how they can get in touch with you. That is plenty while you're starting up. And then as you grow, that's when you can fill it out more. For example, you can go from a holding page, so just a section, to a full page landing page. And then that can be more about you, more about your business, more about your services, just in little depth. But as you're starting to grow and get confidence and you're getting more clients and inquiries, build that website up. It's never a one-time project. It's always, always on the go.
I wish I met you 3 years ago.
It's
No, I
bit
think
easier,
we are
yeah,
a really good
yeah.
example with Richard. Because when we start this and we decide, oh yeah, we need to have the brand, we need to have
Yeah.
a website. Obviously, with everything self-funded, oh, we can, maybe if we reach and speak with website developers, we'll have a better outcome and they will advise. But we were like, maybe that was the thing. Something was stopping us because we were thinking, oh, that's going to be super expensive to go to
Yeah, of
someone.
course.
And we decided to listen Google, which was good with advice, of course, and give ourselves into deep. I remember it took us ages to do, but when you said you can do a land page or whatever, we jump in 4 or 5 pages
Yep.
and put here this and that. I mean, now when I listen to you and I'm like, oh my gosh, but it's all experience.
It was.
And
It was. It was fun to do it. I mean, it was fun. You have. I mean, you do have. The thing is, when you do something yourself, you do learn and
Yep.
have a bit of an appreciation. But the thing is, it takes probably 10 times longer. If you'd have taken, I don't know, a base Squarespace thing and
Yeah.
you'd have probably gone, oh, yeah, that's 20 minutes. Like, yeah, okay, now what?
But then I think it's so important to go, like, when you're starting out, like you say, yes, web developers can be expensive, but there's nothing stopping you from doing your own website. And I think it's really good because you get a better understanding of how it works, how time consuming it can be.
Yeah, but my mindset, obviously, thanks to 2.5 years in podcasting, my mindset is totally different in lots of ways. And this is one of the reasons that with Richard, we sat down and we said, okay, there are so many things that we wanted to do with our website and we still never done it. It's going to be, yeah, this will do. It's not our strength. And we needed to say, that's not for us. We need to put our focus somewhere else. And this is why we came to you.
Yeah.
And now we know that it's in the right hands and it will be done how it needs to be, because this is how it needs to work.
It has to make a good impact, doesn't it? When the key thing is it has to have good impact. And everyone talks now about SEO, search engine
Yep.
optimization, and obviously making sure that Google, particularly Google and all the other platforms, can find
Yeah.
that website. So when you're searching, you come up.
And I think that's the thing, is there is a lot of people out there that still do it themselves to this day and age, which, fair play, you can do it.
They can do.
Yeah.
Of course, it's amazing.
And like you say, but there's some people out there that don't quite understand SEO. Like, I'll put my hands up. I'm not an expert in that field because it is a minefield. But I know the basics of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But there's so many little things that you can do. For example, like make sure your website is getting updated regularly. Because what that says to Google is that you are active and you're changing things. This is where blogs come in really well. And if you're active and updating it, you are hitting those ranks higher and higher. That's not the only thing that helps SEO. There's so many different things. But that's the thing. It's like having a 4 to 5 page website. That also helps with SEO. There are so many different elements to websites. And I hear it quite often where people go, oh, but you just make it look pretty and you make it there. It's like there's so much strategy behind it. But it is tough, and it is, without sort of being harsh, these are the projects or the things you think about in your own business last.
Yeah.
Because if you're out there networking, you're out there, you're like, I'm selling myself. So what's the benefits of having that website?
And from the other perspective, if you are online, the amount of people you can reach is nothing to compare to a room of 50 people or 100 that you network.
Yeah, exactly.
So out there.
And one of my things is you need to make sure that your website is working just as hard as you do for your business. And like a key thing I say is, if you are out there networking and you're face of your business, you're talking to everyone, and if they go, oh, I want to know more, and they go to your website and it's telling a completely different story to what you're selling, they're going to be like clashing. So it's like making sure it's all aligned, really.
Escape to luxury at Hempstead House Hotel and Spa, an elegant country house hotel in Bapchild, near Sittingbourne, Kent. Relax with indulgent spa treatments. Dine in style with exquisite cuisine. Perfect for getaways, weddings and events. Experience luxury in the heart of Kent. Book your stay today.
It depends as well, doesn't it? Because I suppose, probably the most famous website that probably people use more than anything else is probably Amazon.
Yeah.
Because that is like, boom, and it's just like just one big shop.
Yep.
With just pages and pages. I mean, I can't imagine how many pages there must be on an Amazon website, but it must be colossal.
Yeah.
But and that's one that we probably people interact with probably once or twice a week, probably when they're looking for something.
Or probably once or twice a day. You never know, do you? Yeah.
But then obviously, like, you look at the car companies now. I mean, most people choose a car and specify a car on a website, and that's the same with lots of things like shopping brands, in terms of, like, I don't know, like clothing brands. Again, it's just such an easy way of visualization, but then the visualization process and how that comes together, I mean, that's where someone like yourself comes into their own, because it's simple, like, here's a picture, a bit of description, that's fine.
Yep.
But that to
If you want
go
to
to
stand
that
out,
next level,
you need
it's a different way, isn't
Yeah.
it? Completely.
And I think that's where there's different tiers to websites. You do have people that are just website designers, where they will lay it all out and then get a developer to build it. But again, the different tiers, there's different ways to build it. So you've got your drop and drag systems, you've got your templates out there already, or like myself, who can fully custom code it. It's about finding what's right for you at that time, but knowing that there is other options out there for when you grow.
Up 10 years in the agency.
Yes.
What's happened?
Well, so I was coming near the end of my maternity leave with my daughter, and it was like, right, going back to work. I'd always said I'm coming back to work because I knew it wasn't feasible for me to not return back to work. And unfortunately, I was hit with redundancy. Things had changed, and they didn't need me. They didn't need the digital department. So we were a small team of, I think, 6 or 7 of us. So it's not like there was anywhere else for me to go within the agency. So yeah, it just got made redundant. And that's where life changed.
Yes, you've got a little one at home.
Yeah.
And you just made redundant. How
Yes.
amazing is that?
Yeah, I was stressing, to say the least. I remember calling my partner when getting told, obviously, I'm going to go through the process. And I was just bawling my eyes out because it's like all the plans, not plans, but it's like childcare. We couldn't afford that. There was no way we could afford that. And he had so much pressure on his shoulders to allow me to have that year off. I had some savings in the bank to also allow me to have a whole year off, which I'm really grateful for. But without sort of us saying or speaking about it, I knew there was extra pressure on him because it's like, he's got to keep us going. So when I was hit, I just remember ringing him up and just bawling my eyes out. And he was just like, okay, come home, we'll reassess, we'll talk about it. But when you're in that moment, you can't see sense, really, can you? I am one of these people who I always see worst case scenario times a million. I'm very hard to sort of see positive straight away. That is now changing because I'm working on my mindset. But in that time, I was just like, what do I do? Like, we've got a 1-year-old and we are very lucky that parents help us out with childcare. But I was like, I need to figure something out. I also don't want to be sitting at home as much as I love my daughter. I have to be doing something. I've always got to be on the go. So I was just like, I love making websites. I don't want to lose that love and passion for that. So why not start my own business so I can work around my daughter and still do what I love?
And that gives you the complete flexibility.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing. Zerenity doesn't go to primary school until next year. So it's helped me all of our life so far to be able to have it.
Told to have, because to have a business is not just sit down and I'm starting to do that.
Yeah.
Told to actually start a business. What was the process? Where did you get that? I don't know what to say, the courage or the confidence I can do it and to start. There was someone to help you, to guide you, to, I don't know, something.
Sort of. My partner is very supportive. So he was like, if you want to give it a go. And we always said, we'll give it a year. If it doesn't work out for a year and if we're not sort of getting steady, so not steady income, because you never do when you're self-employed at this early stage, in my opinion. But if we were making it work, I will continue it. And luckily I have. But it was like, I think that redundancy, it gave me that kick that I needed to try something new.
But how you said that, how you knew how to do it?
I didn't. All honesty, I didn't. I've never.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
We're talking here because I'm pretty sure someone somewhere is listening and is maybe in a similar situation or somewhere that want to do. And it's a good example that it's not always we've got all the answers.
No. And to this day, I don't still have all the answers. I was so used to just sitting behind a computer and coding. Whereas I'm like, no, I need to get my name out there. I need to do this. I need to do that. And it was like, where do I begin? What do I do? And luckily, someone that I'd met who used to be my personal trainer, I remember her saying ages ago, I need a website. It's going to do me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get in touch with her. So I did. I went, are you still looking for a website? She was like, yeah. I went, oh, perfect. I'm just starting out. Would you like me to help you? Had a conversation and that was my first client. And I was like, surely it can't be this simple. And it's not. It's really not.
So did you build a website for yourself first?
Very quickly, yes.
Because obviously that
very quickly.
Obviously that would be that. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to do website design. Well, I'm going to start. I'll do it on my own. So that's sort of first, almost. Yeah,
almost. And I have to admit, in my head, I was like, right, I've got no time. I was planning to return to work in like a month, 2 months. Being hit with this bombshell, so it's like, right, I need to get out there now. So I did. I rushed a website. I wasn't proud of it, but it was like, I know I can change it. I've got something up there. I've got who I am, what I do. And then, that's when I was like, right, family and friends. Let me talk to them first. And it then got to that point of, right, I've done a couple of websites. Where do I go now? How do I get... And that's probably the biggest question even to this day. How do I get clients? How do I get new customers? Because there's no easy answer to that, is there?
And fair enough, there are lots of people who are doing this
Yeah.
type of job, isn't it? That's the thing. Because earlier this year I came in the world of work for yourself.
Yep.
And it's, oh my gosh, I never thought it's such a, I'm not saying it's bad, but it is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
You need to think about lots of little details
Yeah.
before someone else is thinking about it. It gives you lots of, I would say at this stage still I learned it. You've got like, I mean, you've got the freedom of your time, but I would say if before you work 9 till 5, now you work 24/7 maybe. Let's say.
Absolutely.
And you try and you fit your work and life somehow, you balance
Yep.
it. But I mean, there are lots of little things that you need to think about your finance, about your marketing,
Mm-hmm.
about every single aspect of the job.
Yep.
Have you ever knew about Kent Foundation and something about them?
So I didn't to start off with. I got to this stage where a lot of people, or I was seeing a lot of business people from LinkedIn and stuff like that to go, oh, I'm networking. Oh, And I was like, what is this crazy world of networking? What is this I've got to do? And I was just like, okay, I've got to go to some of these events. So I went to a lot of free ones, and I don't know if we're allowed to swear on this website. Talk about this podcast. But I was pooping myself in the nicest respect.
Of course.
I would wait outside that networking room for 20 minutes trying to talk myself out of it. And I did.
Because you were going on your own.
Yeah.
Isn't it? You don't know the
You don't know anybody, do you? And I'm not a person to go up to somebody and talk to. I'm just like, yeah, I'll just sit in the background. I'll wait till someone approaches me. And there was one, which was the Kent Foundation. And I was like, oh, okay, perfect. I'm going to go along. It was at the Village Hotel in Maidstone. So I walked in like, yep, I've got this. In my head, I'm like, you haven't got this. Just put a smile on. You've got it. You've got it. And I was just chatting to a few people. It's like, right, just have conversations. That's all it is. And I met Natalie, who's also been on the podcast.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I'm part of Kent Foundation. Like, do you know about it? So I was like, no, I don't. She was like, go speak to Caroline. You can get a mentor and all this sort. So I was like, okay, let's give this a go. And when they said it was free, I was like, are you kidding me? Can someone help me understand the world of business? So yeah, I got a mentor from Kent Foundation. And it's just, yeah.
Does it make a big change then for you?
Yeah, it does for me. So I had one mentor, and then I've moved on to my second one because my situation, I've changed, I've grown.
Yeah.
And it's like the person that I'm with now is helping me sort of like align all my processes, my documents, all the running the business side of things that I've never had to do before. And I don't know.
This is what, thanks to networking, we met Caroline. I think she was in our first season guest.
She was.
I really regret I met her after I passed the age.
You were
Yes.
too old.
Which
You were literally like about
literally I
a few
was,
months too
Oh,
old.
no.
No.
I regret. And I think what Kent Foundation is doing, anyone listening in UK, in Kent, whatever is doing, it's unbelievable. Support for anyone who wants to start their own business up to age 40. And it's absolutely free support, which is crazy.
And the best thing about it as well is you tell them sort of what the bits you're really struggling with, and they will assign you a mentor that knows the knowledge or can really like advise you in the best way. So it's like, as long as you're open and honest with them about what you're struggling with in your business, you're going to get that right mentor. And sometimes it may not work out. You may have a different mentor. Like for me, I changed paths and my business was going in different ways. So it's like, I need that mentor that's going to help me navigate where I am now.
Absolutely.
It's just
much valuable
Yeah,
asset.
it is absolutely. So, how in a month, how many times would you meet up with your mentor just to go through things and have a chat?
So that is entirely sort of personal preference. So I meet my mentor at the moment once a month, but she always says to me, I'm at the end of the phone, email, feel free to drop, like with my documents that we're working on at the moment. She's like, drop them over, I'll have a look at them and we'll talk about it in your next mentor.
Yeah.
But she said, like, if you want to meet twice a month, we can meet twice a month. But for me, I was like that. I know if I've got things to do, I won't be able to do it as quickly because I am trying to navigate it all. That once a month is like a perfect balance for me.
Because it's a tough thing, isn't it? When you're on your own and working on your own, there's so many different things within a business to sort out. There's all the documentation that you need because you're running a business.
Yep.
There's the work itself. There's the marketing side. There's the accountancy, bookkeeping, and there's so much, and it's you think it's going to be straightforward because you just think, well, I just do the job. And someone says, well, actually, you need all this compliance that you've got to deal with.
Yeah.
And that's tough for a small business. I mean,
It
for
is.
all small businesses today, compliance is one of the hardest things.
Yes.
What you need to do legally, what you need to do to cover. I don't know, like, for example, like being VAT registered or not being VAT registered. They're all things that people don't understand or worry about.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult.
And it's like if you're collecting people's data, you need to be part of the ICO or GDPR. It's forever changing, and it is quite draining to keep update with it. But you have to.
No, from networking that we're going as well, there are lots of people who can help
Yeah.
exactly with that. And we
Absolutely.
are learning that. Get the help and don't spend time in something you don't know.
But it's so tough, isn't it? Because for myself, I'm very much like, I want to learn this. I don't want to feel embarrassed, so to speak, to reach out for help because it's like I feel like I should know this. But no, have that vulnerability if you can.
Because you're a specialist in your area. And the person that will tell you, let's say, about GDPR, they don't know anything about the websites, and you'll be the one who will tell them about that. So it's that. But I think all this is part of the growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very much. I'm pretty sure if you look yourself 3-5 years ago, it's nowhere.
Even a year ago, I would say.
Wow.
A year ago, I've changed massively, and I used to, when I first started, like, I need to get the jobs in. I will take any job on, and it's just like, no, I now know my worth and I know my value, what I have. It's the importance of it, and it's not always having to say yes to everything. Yes, there is that personal side of I need to bring the money in, but I don't want to be jumping on every project just to get the money in.
Your projects? What is your main drive to say yes to a project? Is it the project, the people, the work they're doing?
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. Like, it's a big mixture, and I think you can sometimes get a vibe from people, can't you? That, not to say that everyone is a difficult client, because I'm not saying that at all, but there are
doesn't align maybe as well your vision about them and what they want and things like that. Which
and it's like little things of like, I will always ask the question of when's the deadline, really, because that's what will also help me defer whether I can do it in that time. And some people will literally go, well, I need it in a week's time. It's like, that's not possible, sort of thing.
You're honest with that. It's not going to be me. Maybe someone or bigger company that got lots of people doing it.
Exactly that. There is so many businesses out there that if I'm not the right fit for you, that's fine. There is going to be someone out there that is going to be better for you, be able to hit the deadlines you need. It's okay, because I know that you'll find people to help you. And if I can also recommend people, I'll do that as well, because it's sharing work between businesses.
But that's a quite shift in the mindset, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Say no and learn to be like, yeah, I'm Tracey. No, this is my way and how I do.
And also, I guess there'll be levels of things. Okay, well, these are things that if you can then almost take on a part of the work. So, well, I can do this bit, but this other person I know can do that bit, and then we can maybe do it more effectively and actually give you a complete solution by working in partnership with other web designers and creators.
Yeah, and absolutely, that's another thing I've learned is it's all about collaboration over competition. Don't try and compete against the other people in your field, because there is enough room and work out there for all of us. And if you can work with somebody or collab with somebody, you don't know what avenue that's going to lead.
No.
I've managed to, from networking again, met somebody and now we collab together on something. So there's possibilities of me getting from work from there. And it's, you just don't know, do you?
This is where I think it's a difficult shift. How did you get to that? I'm not going to compete. I think collaborate.
A lot of it was from networking and having conversations with people. I have done some coaching work with Claire Hill as well,
Mhm.
and as she says, she sees things we don't see. And it's so true, because as soon as she starts telling you, and she won't give you the answers, she'll ask the right questions and it gets you thinking. But I think my biggest shift in mindset is probably just going, you can't keep going at 100 miles per hour. I'm still working on it to this day. I still have my lows. But if I'm slightly changing my mindset, then I know that actually things are going to be okay, and just keep going at what you're doing. Don't feel like you have to do it all.
Something I like on your journey, obviously the mentors that you had and coaching.
Yep.
Why you decide to have a coach?
'Cause
How this led you to, where it come from, the decision that you need a coach? Was it you or someone advised you?
It was me. I was very stubborn. I would never reach out for help. I would never invest in myself. Never. But then it was like being meeting Claire at loads of networking, and she was like, I really want to work with you. You are just magic, and I want to help you shine. And I was just like, yeah, okay.
She's got that vibe
She
around
does,
her.
doesn't
Yeah.
she? And then it was the start of this year. Was it start of this year? Yeah, I think it was start of this year. And just something tweaked of like, yes, you're coming up to 2 years nearly in business. Let something change. Give it a go. What's the worst that's going to happen? I was like, yep, let's go. Let's give, because she done a bank challenge. So that was all about like money, like money mindset and things like that. And I was always afraid of talking about money, especially in business. I was like, let's just give this a go. It's been a game changer, because it's not just about money. It's about your power leaks, your energy leaks. It's how you as a person are possibly spending too much time on things that quite effectively don't matter. So yeah.
I'm asking you all these questions purely because I'm literally about to start to have a work with coach, which is unbelievable that is coming from my mouth, because I was always thinking that what is this? Which is every single person is coach and what they can give it to me. But we've been blessed here meeting few coaches which change absolutely and totally my mindset just by having the conversations. And now I'm very much sure that they can bring something to me. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm pretty sure that we all need this, how it's called, navigation. And as you said, maybe they see something we don't see. And I'm really looking forward to, and that's why I ask you, how did you come to that? Because I would say the podcast led me to that step-by-step change of mindset. Because if you ask me 5 years ago about coach, I'll look at you and I was like, excuse me.
Well, in the old days, everyone thinks about a coach. You know, if you're learning to do a sport, you have a coach. But you don't think, well, I'm running a business, I need a coach. What are they going to do? Like, get me fit? Like, because everyone thinks about fitness coaching, don't
they? Do. And I think...
And it's so different. And one of the things, like you rightly say, like, the more people you meet around, and particularly entrepreneurial people, everyone's got, like, something they've done on their journey that's transformed. And you sometimes you have to piece it together and there's a lot of fluff going on around you, and so many distractions, and it's actually going, well, actually I need to focus on that and to sort that and to get to that point, and then that's what earns the business money, or it gives me the opportunity for growth, or it opens up new opportunities.
Exactly.
And the collaboration is for sure one of them, like you say, because all of a sudden you're collaborating on one project and then they go, well, I've just been speaking to so and so, they've given me this, and then that comes, and it's you get a snowball growth effect, which otherwise you wouldn't have.
And I think, to sort of just go back to your point as well, Meri, is you don't really ever know when that time's going to come or that switch, but it just happens, like you say. You're like, yeah, no, I don't need a coach, I'm okay. But it's just seeing what other people, like you've just said, seeing what other people have got, how they're doing it, and you go, right, it's time to invest in myself. I would never, ever spend money on me. I'm last to spend money on me.
I think most of the people, especially moms, love to do that.
Yep.
And I think yesterday we had a conversation with Richard because at the moment I've seen something which will be on my head for quite long. It's about these amazing retreats,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes they are 4 figures
Yeah.
cost. But there is one specific that for some reason, I don't know, I'm kind of I don't know, it's attracting me somehow. I don't know if I'll do it or no. Again, it's something that, but it's like, oh, I can't spend this amount of
Yeah.
money for myself.
Yeah.
That's the first awful thing coming in my head, which is
Mm-hmm.
wrong. Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, and what you hear from people who go and experience either it's coaching, either it's retreat, either whatever they found, always the outcome is amazing.
Yeah.
And they say they never regret what they did because always come up in much bigger return to them.
Yep.
But I think that initial first step to switch that invest in yourself is important. But we
Yeah.
do all the rest.
Yeah.
Investing, obviously, let's say in shares or whatever, you buy a nice car, you want that house, the clothes, the experiences, but it's never that invest in
Yeah.
yourself.
And I think
That's what
what you just said as well is the regret. Looking back now, I regret that I didn't do it sooner. And you're just like, why have I not
because
taken
you
this
haven't
time?
been very possible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
definitely.
yeah, but
Look
that's
at that
part of our
way.
growth,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's definitely part of our growth, isn't it? As we do something and as we take the steps. And I mean, some people they just have a natural ability, for example, communication.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they just can walk into a room, they can start talking
Thank
to
you.
someone, and they just can like master it.
Yeah.
And it's like phoning people up. I mean,
I hate that.
I mean that is tough.
Give me a text message or email.
If you phone someone like and you go, okay, well, and it's like, how you doing today? Like, okay, we'll get to the point. I'm busy. I'm in a meeting because you never know what the other person's on the other end of the
Yeah.
phone. But actually, to you, your call is really important to you. You want to get it across
Yep.
quickly, succinctly, and have a purpose and meet an objective.
Yeah.
In that call, but for the other person, I mean, years ago, I remember this. You're trying to sell yourself, which is selling the business and selling everything behind you.
Yep.
You have to somehow get to the right person. And
Yes.
and like today, networking gives you the ability to walk into a room and actually meet people without going through a receptionist, without going through all the difficult.
Yeah, I've never thought of it like that.
Because
Yeah.
you're meeting all the people you want to meet in a room without anybody getting in the way, which is your best opportunity. Because if you phone up a company and these days, like most of them got like a telephone directory,
Yep.
and you haven't got a clue where you're going. So, and
They're
interesting,
becoming much and more AI. So
and someone gave me a piece of advice like the other day because it's interesting because what you phone up and you a receptionist, you want to speak to. I mean, you want to speak to like it's in your like the marketing department.
Yeah.
So you phone up to speak to the marketing department. Say, been looking at your website. I think there's things we're going to do to help you. Would you be interested in sitting down with me and having a chat? And I go, oh, no. So sorry, the marketing department are busy today. But like someone said to me, because Mary obviously used to work in accounts payable. So phone up for accounts payable. They'll always put me through and say, oh, sorry, I didn't. Can you put me through to the marketing department? Yeah,
I can
okay,
tell you something as
Yeah.
accounts payable, you're not going to go through. It's advanced. I don't know where it's working, but if someone is
You need to just find it.
I'm like, can give them the details or something, but yeah, it's quite cheeky. Excuse me.
Yeah, I thought it was quite cheeky. But
It's
I thought,
cheeky, but then
you never know,
also
you got to try avenues.
that's exactly what I was going to say. If you don't give it a go, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
At least you've given it a go, and if you've got something from giving that a go,
Mhm.
you're winning, aren't you?
Yeah.
But imagine sitting there and going, "Oh, I didn't give that a go. I didn't." You don't know what that could have happened. You don't know where that could have gone.
Obviously, Tracey nowadays is very changed. How long are you doing your business for?
So it will be 2 years at the end of May.
Okay, so did we meet you then on that kind of? No, it's not going to be the beginning of your journey, but
Fairly,
fairly.
probably about 6 months into my business, I think.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
It's during
Scary.
this journey in general, obviously where you go help, you've got mentors, you've got coaches. Anyone else that is playing like a role model for you? or
Yeah.
you're getting that inspiration from them that you want to do like them or better than them as well? 'Cause we always want to get better.
Yeah, always. We always want to get better. And I think it's hard for me to answer that question because there's been so many sort of people in my family and friends that I've seen, good, look at what you're doing. Like my dad, like he got made redundant in his line of work. He started his own business. We would do business differently, but it's obviously it's how you do it. But I would say meeting the people through networking from this event and any events and stuff like that, seeing how they're growing alongside of me, and it's the accountability. So for example, I've met Lucy from networking, and you would probably call us two peas in a pod.
Yeah, you're always together.
we are always
Nowadays.
together, yeah. And we joked, when was it, a couple of weeks ago, how like I'm her work wife. We're like work wives for each other. But it's having that person who will hold you accountable for things. And not just Lucy, but there are people in my life that I go, right, I've got a few ideas. Can I run past them with you? And they tell me the honest truth, because that's another key element, I think.
Of course, yeah.
Like, I sat down with my partner. I was like, look, I've got these ideas for a few packages or things that I want to try and do within my business. And he gave me all these honest opinions. And he went, but you can't really take it from me because I'm not in the world of business. I was like, no, but you're potentially a target for me.
Exactly.
Like,
You're like,
I can help you. Yeah. And it's just having those people that are around you, that understand it, that get it, and go, right, I think that's silly. Maybe go down this route. Because I think that's another whole different topic of, unless you're in it, I don't think you truly understand what it takes to run a business. And I'm not trying to put people down who don't do it, but they don't see the late nights. They don't see the constant mind on. They might see you always on your phone. Yeah, because I'm writing down a mind or something that's come to me, and I'm just like, right, take a note.
You're on your phone. And I'm like, yes, because I want to do a short. I've got something in my mind that needs to be written. Or
Yeah.
it's just happening. But of course, you need to find the balance somewhere.
Somewhere.
The journey.
Still learning that.
Thing is, as well, when you go into meetings, if you sit down, for example, you go and see a client and you go through a project, so you make a load of notes, which is the start point. But then once you've made all the notes, put it together, you now then go back to your office or your home office, and now you have to put all that together. And one of the things I like to do, and you've seen when we do it, you do it while it's fresh in your mind.
Yep.
You don't wait 3 days and think, oh, okay, well, I'll get onto that, because otherwise, all the stuff that was fresh in your mind around that particular project starts to sort of dissolve, because now you've had 4 or 5 other conversations, and you think, oh, then you end up having to backtrack and do another meeting to go through it. I know today it's easier. There are obviously ways you can either record a meeting or document a reading a meeting, but actually it's good when everything's fresh in your mind. You go back to your home office after that meeting, and you might do 2 or 3 meetings in a day. You might do one, but it's so important to get that sorted.
And it's finding that way that works for you. So if I'm out and about, so for example, when we had our VIP day, I got in my car. As I'm driving home, I'm voice noting myself of just things that I thought about.
Cool thing, actually.
Yeah, and not a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't like voice notes, but if you can just record your audio of you saying it, it's perfect, because then you can just listen back to it, and if you need to make notes that way, like, it's fresh in your mind, and you have got 20 million other things, business and personal, all going on up there. You're going to forget something at some point.
Obviously nowadays networking for you is just easy thing.
Almost.
Yes,
Almost.
if you can stand up and do a presentation as well, which was absolutely amazing.
Oh,
I
God,
think this
that was scary.
A really big jump for you, looking back, but it was really good. How did you feel after that?
I'm my own critic. That in my head
in
is
general. Like, once you did it, did you feel like it's not that bad. It's not that
Absolutely.
difficult to
Yeah.
get hold of the people, especially when you talk about what you're doing.
And I think that's exactly it, is yes, standing in front of God knows how many people, it's nerve-wracking. But if you're talking about something that you generally love and you've got passion for, it's not that scary. It's really not, because you have that love for it. And off the bat of me doing that speaking, someone has reached out and said, can you do a workshop or like another speaking presentation for me?
What I was thinking right now when you
Yeah.
said, because I think it is very important topic and it's quite good. And when you make it, as you said, without too much techie jargon, and you
Yeah.
make it much more for people to understand, I'm pretty sure there is a huge field for you to discover.
Yeah, and that's another way of potentially where my business might navigate a bit. I will always do the website coding because that is what I love. But if I can go out there and deliver some presentations or like courses to help people who want to do it themselves, then I feel even better, because it's like I'm helping people to deliver their own websites, because I know some people do want to do it themselves and there is nothing wrong with that. But if I can help and guide you along that process, I will. If you want me to take over and do it, I will. But I'm not going to just jump in and say I need to do it, because I don't always have to do it.
How do you find time for yourself to charge and to...
I don't.
Oh, you do have time off, I know. And
Well,
when you like to be in the nature.
Yeah, I think it was, I see that more as doing it for my daughter. I know I do it, and I always try and get out for a walk, which I've let slip quite recently, because that is what clears my mind. I used to do running before I had my daughter, so I'm trying to get back to that as well, but my fitness levels have gone down. But yeah, camping. Take me camping, take me to motorsport. That is where I truly switch off.
Yes, we need to speak about that. We can't forget that.
Oh, yes.
About this passion about motorsport.
Well, that started from the age of 16. So I used to marshal at motorsport events, mainly at Brands or like Snetterton. And I can't describe what it is, but Brands Hatch is my happy place. That is where I can truly switch off, because being a marshal, you are right near the action. You're seeing it firsthand. If someone comes off, you're there to help them. And I think maybe that's where my helping side of me comes from. Because
so how did you start? Because that's fascinating. So because you don't just become a marshal. So
no,
so you obviously must have been following motorsport from younger than that.
Yeah.
And then to go along and obviously sort of do training. So tell us about it.
Yeah. So my dad's always loved motorsport as well, and he was a marshal. So that's how I got into it. Because if you are under the age of 18, you've got to be with an adult or someone. So it was quite handy. I was with my dad on post, and my boyfriend also wanted to come along and do it. So I was like, right, we're going to be with my dad most weekends. But there is so much training involved. You've got to get, I think it's normally like 2 full days. You've got to be trained on what to do when a car comes off, whether it needs to be pulled or chassied, or not chassied, lifted by the sort of recovery trucks. You need to know all the different types of flags, what they all mean, when to do it. There's so much to it. That
just to stay there and enjoy the ride.
There was a few weekends where I managed to do that, because it was just like, this is nice. But then there are times in those serious accidents that do happen, you need to be ready and you need to be trained on what to do. And it's not very often that the big accidents happen, but they do happen.
And you need to be watching.
I've been involved in 2. 2 very serious ones. So the first one was a Seat Leon at Brands Hatch, where they were on their green flag lap. So what that means is they're warming up to get ready racing again. And they came round the bend and they just clicked another one, hit the barrier, and then that's it. They dug into the grass and they just flipped and flipped. And I can see it coming, and I'm just looking, and it just goes over my head. So we had to run. And this is the first time it's ever happened, I think. But it landed spectator side.
Oh my word! Wow.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people on that bankment. Like, there was kids running around. So as soon as we've got clear, we've seen the car land, you just have to switch on and go, right, we need to get that side. We need to check, because we are the post to deal with this. So we got there, and someone had already got to the driver. So all of us was like, right, we need to check on spectators. Like, is everyone okay? Do you need help? And it's the adrenaline at that point, and it's not until afterwards that they go, right, we're stepping down for the next race. The 2 posts either side of us will deal with any situations that happen, because you need to process what's just happened, because the whole Armour Cove, like the barrier, was
Seconds.
literally,
No, I mean, everything that's happened is just in seconds.
it is
Your mind maybe can't even realize until you
absolutely.
step back later and you realize.
And it's such a simple thing of, it gets used in training days now, of when the car was coming towards us, we all ran in the same direction that the car's going. You shouldn't do that. You should run
Sideways.
you should run towards it,
Oh yeah, because it's going to come over.
because it's going to come over. So if
Yeah.
you're running towards it, you're already missing. Whereas if it's literally just cat and mouse, it could potentially come up, hit us. And then, yeah, a month after that, it happened at the top of Brands, straight over into the spectator side again.
So that's twice into the spectators.
Mhm.
Gosh.
Yeah. And that's where it can be really serious, and you do have to have that training. You've got to, and I think that's also where I get my sort of determination from, because I wanted to go back. I was like, I'm ready for the next day. I'm ready for the next race.
Was that, obviously it's not every weekend, isn't it? Is it a bit like F1 or this one's a different?
So it all depends. So with Brands, there's all different like championships that's on. So the ones that I'd go to quite a lot was British Touring Cars. There's a 750, so that's where all the young, like teenagers and that are starting their car journeys and stuff like that. So at Brands, it's most weekends that there is an event on. So it'll be a case
you're
of
more than happy to spend your weekend there? Working than having fun?
depends what weather was like. If it was raining, then no.
But the thing is, when you like motorsport and that,
Yeah.
actually, it's a sort of work, but it doesn't always feel like work.
And
Because you've got front seats.
Yeah.
What's going on, and
And
you really know what's going on.
it's also, you don't get paid for marshalling. You're there voluntary. And you have to be there for a sign on probably about 7:30 in the morning. Racing don't normally happen till 10 o'clock, because you've got to have your briefings, you've got to understand. And yeah, I just love it.
Marshal to
Yeah, that's it.
Silverstone.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Because like, I guess if you've been a marshal, like, and you've got all the qualifications, because I'm sure, like, for a Grand Prix weekend, you could probably apply for that, I guess. Can you?
Yeah. So with Silverstone, it's a bit sort of slightly different. I think it's based on not qualifications, but potentially how long you've been doing it for. They give it a nice sort of big share, because it is the big meetings.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to go to it, so they can't allow everyone in.
July.
Oh yes, but no, it's just.
Which team you support?
What, F1?
Yeah.
Oh no. I don't know whether people will like me for this or not. I'm a McLaren fan.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
British choice, I would say.
Lando Norris is my driver to follow. Yeah.
Amazing. Always been fan of McLaren, or?
I think so, because I think for me they've been the most sort of steady. And I don't know how true this is, but I always see it as they get a lot of new upcoming drivers, and they're not just trying to get the big names straight away. You see the journeys.
Max Richard is the expert here, but as I know, quite a the big names start from there.
Yeah,
many.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
So, which is great as well, talking about them.
Yeah. And I think as well, it's just, it might just come from my dad as well, because I think Dad was always a McLaren fan.
And is that the sport that you like? Obviously, the motorsport. Is
Yeah.
there any other sport that you like, follow, sport?
Rugby. I love rugby.
Any other surprises?
I'm very I am an active person. I will always give something a go, get my hands. I've never played rugby.
Thanks.
Luckily. But I just I love watching it. Six Nations. I'll be sitting there watching it.
This is something I really don't get that sport, but we can't be all the same.
But no, it's so true. Even though I like sport, I can't stand football. I watch like the big ones, like Euros or something like that, when England's in it.
The World Cup.
But no, I don't have an interest for that. Partner does, but no.
it's different, the tactics though, isn't it? But in some sports, like motorsport, a lot of people go, well, these cars just go round and round and round.
Oh yeah, so true.
But actually, there's so much in terms of the thing that, you know, strategy is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You know, when they do the tire changes, like what happens at a certain point if there's an incident, they go in the pits, and there's all these different things, and it makes it fascinating. And like obviously, I mean, rugby is a very different game to football, but it's also very exciting. And once you get the hang of what's going on and why they have the line out and throwing it in, and when they have the scrum and you know, and when they kick the ball and don't kick the ball, I mean, it's all those things are all so different, but but it makes it interesting because once you understand the strategy of the game, it's.
And I think that's one thing I enjoy is trying to learn. I love learning that if I can learn in terms of sport. Like I don't know rugby full in, full out. I ask my partner, he probably gets sick of me because I'm like, what does this mean? Why does this happen? But like you say, with motorsport, it does look like cars are going round, but it's like actually you've probably got the leader in the middle of the packs and he's trying to get round without trying. There's so much to it.
Amazing. And for me, I always like to say F1 for me is like a leadership for a school. Every single race is like you can see, who is, because absolutely admirations for the drivers because they are the ones over there and they need to have the skills. But very often that strategy that the team has can change the whole. And even me, who is quite moody, sometimes like, why the hell did you that?
But it also shows that on different days you don't always have it worked out. That you can relate that to business of going, it's all right, today's just a different low day. You'll bounce back tomorrow. Yeah.
Consistency. Yeah. We love this word.
Consistency.
Sometimes it's just driving me nuts, but that's the reality. Consistency beats.
And it's hard to keep. And it's hard to keep it up on that level at times. I struggle with it quite a lot. To always keep going on, keeping at that level. But I am a bit more honest and open that there are days I'm like, I'm in my head too much. Because you just need to always be up here, that you can't always.
No, these are the things that people think exist, but whoever starts to experience this, you start to realize. No, I was always perfectionist. I always believe that everything needs to be done.
Yeah.
And during the time I learned, and all these incredible guests here just teach me, no, perfection doesn't exist. Stop going behind something that doesn't exist, because it's always going to be something better. Someone will be better than you. Or I don't know, everything can be better.
And it's important to just remember that done is better than perfection. The more that you're holding on, like something I say with websites in particular, is the more you're holding it back because it's not perfect, all that time you're holding it back, no one's seeing it.
Someone else is
so just put it out there that's done to a good level. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you're getting noticed out there and you can perfect it as you go.
Well, 80% of it is the information that's going out, isn't it? The 20% of perfection is probably most people won't see. We might see it because we're looking at that particular detail, but most other people won't.
And that's the thing, when a lot of people say to me, are you happy with your website? I'm like, yeah, no, because I'm never going to be fully happy with my website because that's what I do as a job. And I will always see the faults in it or how I want to tweak it to make it better. You're just, it's never going to be perfection.
And I guess the other thing is, as you're developing other people's websites, you think, why didn't I think of that? I could do this. Yeah,
absolutely. And creativity always happens at the most silly times. Like I am a late bird. I will stay up and work in the evenings. At 1 o'clock in the morning, something will come to me and I've got to write it down and then I can go to sleep. But it's just people are like that at 6 o'clock in the morning and it's
so different. Thank you very much for being our guest. Right before we finish, we've got a few gifts for you. And one is Dr. Zam's book. You've been on the Master Business...
Be Your Brand.
Be Your Brand Day.
Masterclass, yeah.
Yes. Amazing book, highly recommended. And he was very keen to give them to us.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Our guest present.
Thank
And
you.
something small from me as an independent trophy ambassador. I love these brands. Clean products made in UK, very good for your skin. So enjoy a little treat.
Thank you so
But
much.
thank you for being with us and sharing your story.
Thank you to you two as well, because you guys do this out of the kindness of your heart, and to share people's experiences, and you just don't know what you're going to get. And the people that come on here are so open, so vulnerable, that hearing what they have to say, you just don't know what that's going to trigger for you. So thank you for you guys for holding this podcast.
Well, Tracey, that's
Love it.
amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Great job for being so honest and open about everything, sharing quite good tips about websites as well. So yeah, absolutely pleasure, and thank you for being our guest.
Thank you very
Thank you very
much.
much, Tracey. And if you would like to work with Tracey and you have an idea for a website and you want to get it sorted, please do contact Tracey. We'll put her DM messages below and you can have a look and make contact, and you'll have an amazing website coming along. So
Thank
yeah.
you.
So thank you very much, and we hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please do give us a thumbs up, a like, and also please do subscribe to the channel. And
also, if you like our guest and this amazing channel bringing so much inspiration to anyone, please buy us a coffee on the link below and help us to grow and to bring more and more exciting and inspiring guests. Thank you. See you next time.
see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.